Next we have Ms. Gina Castanon with donated time by Mr. Ruben Castanon for a total of 6 minutes.
Staff. I had printer issues. I do have a couple of pictures here. I would have made copies for everybody, but at the last minute I didn't have it. It shows the flooding on McVicker Street, which is one of our concerns, of course, being one of 2 houses on McVicker Street. So I am in public comment requiring that Beazer, along with the other projects that are across the street from me and next door, require a Wildomar. So this project is not going to affect us personally and put us in a flood zone and require us to have flood insurance. That's my first requirement. I know the staff has worked hard with all the developments around the area, but one thing that I'd like clarification on is there are other choices that you have besides approval. You can deny the extension. You have that choice, although rarely ever done and rarely ever recommended, but you have that authority to deny the project and start all over again. Of course, I will remind not only you, but members of the audience that I was on the incorporation committee. This is not the Wildomar we envisioned. This is the most rural area of Wildomar, which we have medium density. You keep on changing zoning, increasing our population. Houses do not increase our revenues. They are a decrease to our system. Now, I'm over 300 feet, apparently 600 feet from the project, but being the only other house on the street, my concern with this project, and I had the opportunity to invite staff, Dan York, Matthew Bassie, and Gary Norquist into my home. They looked out my windows so they can see what we are going to have to put up with. It is Commission's responsibility to be stewards of Wildomar, to do right by the people that have been here first, that have come before, and has established a community which our roots are rural. The other conditions I'm going to put on this project is that affect me personally is because of this track, there's going to be a signal on Palomar and McVicker Street. Staff saw how the signal is going to go red, yellow, and green. Red, yellow, green. Red, yellow, and green. 24/7 into our bedroom. If you deny this project, make them start all over, or let them sell it to somebody else, and have what's appropriate to Wildomar. We have estate-sized housing and large parcels of rural property on McVicker and Grand and all through this area, that area of Wildomar. Quality planning goes from estate, 25% buffering to half-acre lots, and then you can step them down some more. That's quality development. You're putting ticky-tacky tracks all over the place and apartments all over Wildomar. What kind of stewards are you for Wildomar? All the things that they're conditioning Beazer and CB Communities or whoever's going to buy the project next door to us, it's going to solve a lot of Wildomar's flooding problems. Flooding's only 3 or 4 months out of the year. If you've passed those pictures on, do you see the flooding that occurs? And that was in 2014. We're not even in an El Nino year yet. As Gary Andre pointed out, there's several other sources of water that comes on McVicker Street. Lateral C1 isn't Wildomar's catch-all problems for the flooding on McVicker Street.
Yeah.
If you do go ahead and pass this extension, you better have some conditions on this project that they need to really work with this community. The city can't afford lawsuits after lawsuits because Planning Commission, doesn't get the job done properly. Why don't you work with the community and the concerns we have And maybe the lawsuits might go away. You know, I have worked, my husband and I, some people in the community have worked very hard with the staff in trying to remedy some of these huge, what we feel are huge impacts to us. Also, the traffic on McVicker Street, how that will impact us, the noise, and the lights. You know, do what's right. It's hard. I know there's a lot of people that you think just because they spent a boatload of money that they deserve, you know, their project. You know, they will leave. They will make their money and they leave, and we are here to pick up the pieces and deal with the traffic and the congestion and the noise. So I'm asking you tonight, think hard about what you're going to do here and the future of Wildomar. Not only with this project, but all that comes before you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Castanon. Mr. Garcia?
That is all, Chair.
Okay, would the applicant like to speak?
You know, you're right. Sometimes this city gets sued unfairly. And it gets sued by a little cadre of people who I will not name. But it costs many thousands of dollars to resolve these issues. CV communities resolve the issue in favor of the city and their project. We're now resolving another issue with another woman who sued the city. Specious lawsuit at best, and we've given them 2 days to dismiss their case. We're through having the city be bullied. And tonight I heard a woman who has concerns and questions, but they've been dealt with over a series of 10 years by the county, and now you are dealing with them also. The conditions that are required to address the flooding, the Lomar and the Clomar, are in the conditions of approval already at 10 flood, 20, and at 90 flood, 3. This project already has a Clomar, and before it can be constructed, it has to have a Lomar. I don't know how to express my difference of opinion without, I just want to be real respectful. Your staff has done a good job. The county has considered these issues. They've been considered over a series of years. Since 1998, you've had certain protections that the county obtained. And you seem to have to go through this time and time again. It's unfair to you. You are protecting the citizens. You are making this community a better community. And in fact, developments like this one, CV Communities, you have another Pacific Cove Communities, these are the folks that come in and build the infrastructure necessary so that the city can thrive, so that you can have more economic opportunities because you have more citizens that live here and you provide for diversity of housing. I am the father of a disabled person. I get tired of hearing that those kinds of people, quote unquote, shouldn't live in a community. And we had a good example today of hatred. Just pure hatred. It's got to stop. And planning commissions around the country, people like yourselves, you're doing a great job. You need to hear that. You need to hear it more often. Your staff is doing a great job. They're not doing anything to not protect the citizens. You're getting more than, when developers come in, they understand these issues. And they're here to make it work. They're here for infrastructure. They're here to provide what is necessary and sometimes above what is necessary. Maybe Mr. York needs to speak to all the technical issues that were raised this evening, but we've addressed those technical issues. They're addressed in the MND. They're addressed in the conditions of approval. They're addressed in the findings that you're making. This project has a Clomar. It has all the conditions imposed upon it to do the things that's necessary. I wish I could solve all the other challenges for the woman who just spoke. Some of the challenges I can't resolve. I mean, this city's going to grow. It's just going to grow. But I appreciate the fact you listened to her, and I hope you listened, and I know you listened to us. But maybe if you have questions of technical nature, Mr. York could probably answer those questions better than any of us. I will just simply say that I was the Bedford lawyer for a number of years. I understand Murrieta Creek, I understand Temecula Creek. I understand what's going on today, and I understand how it happened and what we had to do to get it to happen. It takes a long time, but we'll get it done. Thanks.
Thank you.
I have any questions of the technical nature. The engineers are here, and I know Mr. York, who's, I think, a fine person, can answer any other questions.
Okay, we have no more speakers, so I'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and commissioners, let's discuss.
I'd like to, just a refresher from staff and council. This project was approved in 2005, which was before the city of Wildomar was incorporated. And it was approved by the county of Riverside. And it met the conditions of the general plan at that time. R1 was the zoning that was put on it by the county, not by the city of Wildomar. And nothing has changed. And my understanding is tonight our only option is to approve for an extension. That's all we're looking at. Is that?
No, it's not your only option. This is discretionary approval. You have the choice to approve or deny. However, if the inclination is to deny, I would actually suggest that you continue the public hearing to allow staff to come back with a revised resolution, because we would have to make findings in support of a denial. The resolution you have in front of you has findings in support of approval. So, but you do have two options.
Mr. Bassey, the track in question conforms to our general plan, Wildomar City general plan today?
Yes, it does. The land use designation is medium density residential, and the applicable zoning for that land use category is R1, both of which were in existence prior to incorporation.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for now.
Other questions for any other commissioners or comments?
Okay.
Any motion?
I will make a motion that Planning Commission adopt PC resolution number 2015-20.
I'll second it.
Okay, so Commissioner Smith has made a motion, Commissioner Lloyd has seconded. Any discussion? Okay. Roll call vote. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Bidwell?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
No.
Commissioner Lloyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Langworthy, aye. Motion carries 4-1.